I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me.
This ain't reality TV!
We back. It's the man behind the hands, Mo City Menace, and I'm here with an extraordinary guest. She is the NABF Featherweight champion, fresh out of Indiana to the great state of Texas. It's Hannah Hanarchy Rapp.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, man? Glad you're here.
Glad I'm here.
Glad you pulled up on your boy. So, man, you gotta go all the way back with me, Hannah. Where did your humble beginnings start? Where you from?
I'm from Muncie, Indiana, or Yorktown. It's like an hour east of Indiana. Or hour east of Indianapolis. It's a much smaller state than Texas.
Okay. I assume so.
Yeah.
How's life growing up there? Like, you grew up with a regular dynamic, family, siblings, mom, dad.
Yeah. Mom, dad, brother, sister, older brother, younger sister. We're all 4 years apart.
Okay.
My mom and dad got separated when I was in like 2nd grade.
Okay.
And then just grew up in a normal, kind of like a farm town, small school. My graduating class was only like 200 people. Or
wow.
Less. So a lot smaller than schools that you'll find.
We'll use the word intimate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was a great school, great community.
So you had pretty much a happy upbringing coming up.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Were you always athletic?
Always athletic. Always doing something. Yeah. My first love was soccer.
Okay.
So I was playing that when I was like 3 years old. I wasn't even old enough to be playing in that league yet.
All right. So you started off with kicking things.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna gradually get somewhere, but
yeah.
All right. Now, so tell me, how was soccer? Did you still play soccer?
I haven't played soccer
since
like
back then?
Yeah, since high school.
Okay.
But my mom likes to tell the story of I was 3 years old running around the field. I would score a goal and I would just run around.
And
that's me. That's
cool. That's my thing too. I don't even score.
Yeah.
But so you went from soccer as a youth.
Yep.
Transition to where?
Played basketball, ran track, ran cross country.
Oh, man.
I did them all.
Oh man, you was out there just beating everybody.
Yeah. And loving it.
Were you competitive as a kid?
Very competitive.
Okay.
Very competitive. Softball.
Was it your siblings that built your competitive nature, or just you?
I think it's just me. I think it's just something that you're kind of born with. Because like my sister, least competitive. Probably
nonchalant.
Love her to death. Not very athletic. I think it's just something you're born with.
You won.
She has her own gift.
Gotcha.
We all do.
Nah, I get it. So so you growing up, you playing different sports. In your mind, was it ever, I want to hit somebody?
Yeah. actually, it's funny because I had a best friend and he was doing like Taekwondo.
Okay.
And I really wanted to do that, but obviously that's more money. It's not a school sport, so it's just harder to get into.
Yeah.
I'm sure my mom didn't want me doing it either. It's hard for her to watch me in boxing matches today.
Cringy?
Cringy, yeah. She's like looking behind her hands the whole time, but she still supports me. But I always wanted to do some sort of martial art, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't get into boxing until I was almost 22 years old.
What was the cause of you even wanting to get into it?
I don't know. So I was going through.
The reason why I asked that,
Yeah.
because people say you got to be kind of crazy to box, right? You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna go punch people and people punch you. You know, so like, where are you at 22 to say I can't fight it anymore? I got to punch somebody.
I ran track at Purdue, so that's where I went to school.
Oh man, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you. But it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I loved track in high school. It's a much different game when you get into collegiate. It's totally different.
Absolutely.
And so I go from being some of the best in my state to then going to college, and I'm surrounded by the best in the world, the best in the country, all that stuff. And now I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. I'm having a hard time competing with these amazing athletes every day, which was such a privilege, but it was mentally exhausting every single day. Physically exhausting. I just dealt with constant injuries. So my 2 years running at Purdue, I only ran in two meets. I had a really hard time. It was heartbreaking. It was just a big life change.
Was it because you built so much time towards it, and then when you got there,
and I'm just like, I'm pushing every day as hard as I can, but that's just grinding me down even more and whittling away at like the passion that I had for this sport.
Man, I know that's tough because I went through something similar. I played football, and went to college, and went from being really, really good to he's all right. You know, that's tough to eat. You know, especially when you're not cutting corners and doing everything you're supposed to do.
You're doing everything right. You're going to training. You're eating right.
It's just this brutal reality that. Guess what? You know.
And then what? And then what? And so I think it was my junior year or sophomore year, something like that. COVID happened.
Gotcha.
And I was only a walk-on. I didn't have a scholarship or anything like that. And they actually cut all the walk-ons from the team. And then I was left with nothing. And I go through some of the hardest, probably the hardest time of my life. Mentally, physically, I go through a lot. I didn't have anything anymore that I was like aiming towards. That thing that makes you unique. And then on the other side of that, I found boxing just by happenstance. I needed something to put my energy into.
Tell me about that happenstance, though. I mean, what happened?
Well, I look up like boxing gyms near me, and one was like an hour away, and I was like, I'll make the drive. I'll try it out.
An hour?
Yeah. Actually, I did that for like a year when I started boxing, was driving an hour. So I could only go to training like 2 or 3 times a week.
I'm not going to lie to you. That's the story right there. That's the story. You know, hey, I want to get into boxing. I dedicated driving an hour to get there. You know, that's some inspiring stuff. So you remember anything about your first day walking into a boxing gym?
I loved it immediately. I remember that.
Really?
Yeah, I loved it immediately. So I had tried, my dad has a heavy bag in his garage, and so I had like tried it a little bit before walking into like the gym for the first time officially.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the first time I walk in and I'm like going through all this, the warm up, the jump rope, the shadow boxing, all that stuff, and I'm just like, I'm hooked immediately. I don't know how else to describe it other than I want to try this.
You know, a lot of people, when I talk to them, they say, hey man, the first time I walked into a boxing gym, I didn't like it.
Really?
It took me some time, or I had to adjust, or I was used to, doing this, and then this was a transition. I mean, some really big names and people, to whatever first approach at the sport wasn't what you're saying. And that's phenomenal, because that sounds like y'all found each other. That's what it sounds like, for you to put so much time in the track and field, and then it went one way, and then you walked into boxing, and now you're here. So when you walked into the gym, was it just for recreational purposes, or did you think one day I'll be competitively boxing?
Probably crazily enough, I thought I could see myself being a world champion someday. Like the first day I walk in the gym, like I want to pursue this as far as I can.
Man.
And that's just kind of the way that I took all sports. I wanted to go to the Olympics in track. That doesn't happen. I have to pivot that energy somewhere.
That's what competitors do.
Yeah.
People who have that level of athleticism and that competitive nature, they put something into something else when that is not it. I'm going to go do this, So to make that transition, that's phenomenal. Okay, so you're in Indiana and you're doing your thing. You're just a farm town girl punching on the bags.
Yeah.
What happens? Like, I mean, how do you? I mean, there's a fight next week. You want to? I mean, it doesn't go like that. You know, how does it?
No,
How do you get there?
Takes 4 or 5 months in the gym.
Gotcha.
Before I had my first like unofficial like in
Amateur
the gym.
type of,
yeah, it wasn't like an official amateur fight, but it was like a smoker or whatever.
Okay, little sparring session.
Yeah, within the gym.
Okay.
I had some hard sparring, prior to that, but like within my first month, I was sparring. Within my first 2 or 3 months, I was doing the competitive sparring where I'm like getting hit pretty hard. Broke my nose for the first time a little bit.
How was that?
It was with a guy I probably shouldn't have been sparring with.
You said a guy.
Well, yeah, there's no girls around here in boxing. Well, around here there are, but in Indiana there were few and far between.
You just really had to find a smaller guy?
This guy was 170 pounds.
So you just sparring a light heavyweight and you he broke my nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's amazing,
Stupidly.
man.
But I'm not gonna back down from like.
I see.
Especially being like a woman in the gym, you don't want to be looked at like lesser. We're always in there trying to compete.
That's true.
Probably a little too hard because we're fighting to survive, like literally.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, you're surrounded by guys. You don't want to step down.
You don't want to also give any sign of weakness.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, I want to come across like, I'll whoop all of y'all.
Yeah, I'll whoop all you. Yeah. I might break my nose, but I'll whoop all you.
I respect
You'll
it.
feel it. Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah.
So, you go from there, you break your nose. That didn't make you want to walk away?
No, I was back the next. I mean, I had some bruised eyes and I had some raccoon eyes and all that stuff. But no, I was back, and I think my coaches were trying to test me, make sure that I was really in it. Like he sent me in with one of my first like true female sparring sessions. It was with Susanna Rodriguez, who's a professional boxer out of Indiana. She had been like a Golden Gloves runner-up. Like she's been boxing for 20 or something like that. Gotcha. Really good boxer. He throws her in there with me, and I'm pretty sure the instruction he gave her was try to hurt her, because that is exactly what she did. But I think that was just a way of him trying to make sure that, am I really in this? Because it's going to hurt. And, boxing has some pretty harsh realities. And so, I remember probably shedding a couple tears in between rounds, just like trying to stay alive. Like she's a much bigger, stronger opponent than I was.
What weight was she at?
Like 155.
Okay, so and you were at that time?
130.
Okay,
yeah, something like that. 135 so maybe.
It's a stretch.
Oh yeah. But no, I remember telling her after the fact, I was like, "Thank you so much for that work. Like that's exactly what I needed." And I think that was just a test to make sure that I was in it. To be in it.
So when does how much of an amateur career did you be able to get a hold of?
I was able to get like 7 or 8 fights. Okay. I probably had just as many canceled.
I know how I go.
Yeah, it sucked. And the amateurs too. Yeah. It's like there's no money attached to it, but people treat it like it's the pros, so they'll try to protect their record. It's so exhausting.
That's a fact.
You drive 4 hours to go fight, and then you find out that your opponent doesn't show up.
Yeah, now you going back home.
Yeah, and so the transition to pro was definitely motivated by the fact that, am I just going to keep wasting time trying to get amateur fights? Because it's really hard. I mean, I was working a full-time job when I was doing my amateur boxing. I'm still working a full-time job, but you have to take a week off of work.
Yeah.
And that's, clearly that is a really hard.
I talk to everybody out here, even when people have, local promoted fights and they got a job and they got to say, okay, I got to cut some time out of work so I can go do this. And this won't even be that financially rewarding.
Exactly.
I'm just doing this to push to another point and whatnot. I get it. But really what that does is show as a testament to your commitment and dedication to something that you have in your mind to go after. A lot of people don't have that. Right. A lot of people be like, you know what? I want to do this, but I'm not going to even try to, for you to say, hey, look, I'm going to make this a priority and I'm going to go after it in this way. So let's just go and skip to it. You turned pro. Tell me about your first fight as a professional and where you are mentally when it happens, because that's not the amateurs.
Oh, I was really pumped up for it, really excited. I felt like I was finally making steps towards the goal that I had set out when I first stepped into the gym. And so, I didn't play it up like too big in my head, because I know there's so many more steps to go, but it was really exciting. It was fun. The fight ended in a first round knockout, first round stoppage, and it was awesome because it was pretty local, so a lot of my family and friends were able
Everybody
to
had
be
a
there.
chance to see it.
Yeah, and I always hope that.
How does that feel though? You do something like that locally, you stop somebody, friends from school, right there, they saw it. How does that feel?
It feels great, and it feels a little validating in that, like, I've had to put a lot of stuff on the back burners maybe, or had to make a lot of sacrifices, and it's, for this dream that I have.
For sure.
I did get a degree in environmental engineering from Purdue, and
man, I much respect for that. I'm going to applaud that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You don't run across that very often. I know a few people who've attended college, maybe even fewer that actually achieved a degree. So, much respect to your dedication in that. But even in that, it shows when you're committed and dedicated to something, you're gonna go get it.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it really shows. Me, I dropped out. I'm a quitter.
No.
But continue. Tell me. So you got the one in the bag. Are you thinking after your first fight, the transition or the trajectory of what you're gonna do is gonna go fast, or are you like, it's gonna be some work, or what are you thinking after your first fight?
It definitely goes a lot faster, like in female boxing.
Absolutely, it's 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah. But I think it depends on your connections. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have a big, like, illustrious amateur career.
For sure.
And so I'm already starting at like a disadvantage, as opposed to somebody who's been in the amateurs, around, has connections,
people know,
already signed, and so I knew it was going to be an uphill battle.
Mm-hmm.
But also, so I had 3 fights in Indiana with my coach Connor Mitten out of Dark Side Boxing.
Okay. That was the name of Dark Side Boxing?
Dark Side Boxing.
That's pretty
yeah. It's Star Wars themed. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's really
man,
cool.
they like coming to the dark side.
Yeah.
Serious business right there.
Yep. He started me out. He really built me up. Mad props to Coach Connor Mitten. And but then my boyfriend got a job teaching at Texas A&M.
Wow.
Back in August of last year.
That's phenomenal.
And it was a really last minute thing, and so we're like kind of scrambling. I'm trying to make decisions like, do I stay here with what I built, or do I take the chance and go down to Texas? And
everybody know I'm in Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
So how did you get to Texas? That's how you got here, and I respect that. How did you find the world famous, the notorious Carl Perry of Bryan Boxing? How'd you run across him?
At Google at first. I mean, I just had to Google. I had to make sure that there was a boxing gym there. And what was relieving to me was seeing all the, great reviews that Coach Carl had out of Bryan Boxing. He's smiling over there, but it's true. And all the words of just like, this man has really turned my life around. He's been a great mentor and a phenomenal coach. And I'm like, that's exactly what I want to hear. And so I shoot him an Instagram message, and I'm like, hey, coach, I'm a pro boxer. I take this career, I take my job very seriously. I was hoping if maybe you had like room for a professional boxer. And he's like, absolutely, yes, ma'am, come on down. And
what's been some upsides and some pluses to being here in Texas as opposed to India?
There's a lot more boxing down here. I did know that going in. Texas is one of like the boxing states. And so I knew of a lot of big names out around here. And then Coach Carl has tons of connections. He has tons of experience.
He know everybody.
Yeah, seriously.
He know Mo.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so you find yourself out here. You find a good home to work out of. I think that right there, the timing of it, just the way life happens and the stars align
in mysterious ways.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Because things align in our lives and we typically overlook them or we don't acknowledge them how we should. But for you to be right there and him right there, man, and I've known him for a while now, and man, I promise you, man, somebody can get cut behind Carl. I'm just saying, he's a great guy, man. I think that's a great place. Tell me about the draw.
Right. Yeah. So that was my last title defense back in March. I won the title in November against Carmen Vargas.
Okay.
And then we defend in March against Melissa Parker. And we knew it was going to be a great fight. I probably got in my head a little bit leading up to it. There are things that, it's the fighter that you show up as on the night. You could have all the prep, you could have all the prep aligned, you could have, everything aligned. And then if things just don't coalesce on the night, that's just how it is. But I think, thinking in retrospect, that was such a great fight for me to have, to really overcome a lot of obstacles and a lot of challenges that I had. She hits hard as hell for, and for good reason. Like, she was a title holder in the NABF and I think the IBO. That's right. Yeah. I'm going to be facing a lot of smaller opponents just because I'm tall for the weight class. Yeah. And for me, I naturally want to become forward, pressure fight all the time. And she actually came in with a very smart game plan of doing the opposite. She's going to box on the outside, being the smaller fighter. That's not what I expected at all.
Yeah, because she typically bullies people.
Exactly, and that's what we were prepared for. Yeah.
But the same way you went through a transition in coaching,
right?
So did she.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know a lot about her. I know she trained out of Main Street for a little bit. We were there, I think, in passing, but I never had spoken to her.
I see everybody, and I watch all the traffic, and I just sit in the middle and watch how it goes, you know. And I would have never thought that'd be a fight that would happen, but that's a phenomenal fight. I went back and I watched a little bit of it the other day, just checking you out. And I got to say, you're tough. And somebody you worked with before told me to tell you, they knew I was doing this. They said, tell her she hits like a boy.
Who said that?
Jiffy Morales said, you hit like a boy. Yeah, she's a good girl. She hits like a boy.
I've been told that a couple times. Actually, it makes me laugh every time.
I just thought that was amazing for somebody who really doesn't take boxing serious anymore, but just knew I'm not gonna mess around with her.
Yeah. But we never got sparring together, but yeah, she was there.
Something happened yesterday. I'm happy you're here today. Something happened yesterday. Probably the greatest women's boxing card of all time.
Yes.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I was able to watch the tail end of it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see all of it, but
I watched every fight. And I think the direction that women's boxing is going is a great real estate for Hannah Rapp.
Yes, sir.
From what I saw last night, there was so many people coming from let me be more specific. There's so many women from different places and different backgrounds and different ethnicities and different styles and different, this amount of amateur experience, this amount of, everybody came from so many different little walks of life and they were on the same stage. And the prelim card was phenomenal. The actual card was phenomenal. And, don't get me wrong. There was it is a MVP promotion, but it was monumental to have that many females. Having people pull out of fights, has that been difficult as a professional?
Absolutely. I didn't think I'd be dealing with it as much as I did in the amateurs.
Why not?
I mean, you think you're a pro, you're signing up to do this. You would think that more people would be willing to fight.
I agree. I
think it's unfortunate how unforgiving boxing can be. So from one perspective, I can see people want to protect their records because they get one loss or one draw even and doors start closing. And I think we've dealt with that a little bit. But we've had some opportunities recently that we've taken at the drop of a hat that have just kind of slipped through our fingers, unfortunately. For example, we were supposed to fight Elise Soto at the start of June. We were given the fight with a week, I think it was a week's notice. We get the contract.
Do it.
Yeah, we get the contract. We're like, hell yeah, this is going to be a great opportunity. Finally, the opportunity to be on TV, all that stuff is here. And so we take it at the drop of a hat. We sign the contract. We send it back to them. It's like radio silence for 4 days.
Okay.
And then they sit on it. And then Sunday rolls around. We're supposed to be fighting Friday. And she got an injury, apparently.
Okay.
Which, who knows?
You never know.
Who knows? She did fight 2 days ago. So
Yeah.
That sucks to see as somebody who that was supposed to be me.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes. And
I think you one of those people, and I'm seeing it with a lot of different people that I actually have met and have a relationship with, that you become a victim of how good you are.
A little too fast, I think, because I have like 13, 14 fights total. Across amateurs and pros, and so I'm fighting to get fights.
I would sell myself like that. I've only fought 14
Yeah. How
Just
bad
14.
can it be?
It can't be bad. No one's fought me. No one knows. I don't even know. You know, you gotta, that's what
Play it off like
your shirt should say, I don't even know.
I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Just try it.
This can go any way, you know. Try it, you know. Try me, please. Let's see, you know. But no, I think what I was saying though, you know, even though that happened, and I'm almost positive it won't be the last time.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You know, I think people are gonna have their plans, and like how you were saying, protect their O's, and they're gonna have different agendas and different things that they want to happen. And you could be somebody that could foil that for them, regardless of your lack of experience. You know, I think when people find out, you know, it's too late if they're in the ring with you.
Yep.
You know, that's tough. You know, but I think you kind of have the certain drive of somebody that's going to go after it. So, you know, I don't think it's going to hurt you as bad as it hurts others. What I was going to say is, in the future, would you be looking to get a part of those type of all-female cards?
Oh, I would love to be on that. I was getting goosebumps last night watching it. I'm like, because I've seen myself like in my head, like on those cards since I started boxing.
Man,
that should be me. I should be in there.
I mean, I'm watching Layla Ali and all the rest of them commentate and talk about the significance of it, and it was just really, really cool to see it. You know, I mean, you did watch the main event?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
What do you think of people like Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano?
I mean, they've laid the foundation for boxers like myself and others who are coming in behind them, and they're at the end of their career. But my God, how much they've done for women's boxing! It's hard to put into words. And so, like, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, like coming up behind them and hoping that I can get a piece of that pie too, and because I see myself in their shoes. Like,
I think that's part of the battle, actually seeing yourself be there. You know, the Guinness Book of World Records was involved last night.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, they had they broke a record of having the most belts on the line in one card, 17.
That's awesome.
17. They had 17, I want to say in 3 undisputed fights or something like that. So they had quite a bit happening, you know, one night, you know. But I think if you continue to pursue the way you're pursuing with those who you're pursuing it with, it's going to get closer and closer and closer, and it'll be there. Let me ask you this, though. Going forward, let's just say in the next 2 years, where do you see Hannah at? I
really do see myself as like in title contention, world title contention. You know, if we're given the opportunities. But you know, unfortunately for my opponents, I love to train, so I never take time off. I may take a couple days. Everybody's got to take some rest. But I love being in the gym. I love my craft. I will do this no matter what. I won't get paid for it, and I'll still do it anyway because I love it. You know, I've always said the money is the cherry on top. I'd love to be able to pay my team because they do so much for me. That's a big part of my motivation. But, you know, I would love for those opportunities to start to coalesce. So you just gave me a nice chunk of your commitment to boxing. What do you do to get away from boxing? That's a good question. I mean, you know, you finish a fight, you got time. Yeah. What do you do? I like to rock climb. Oh, yeah? So yeah. I'll do some. So you go from endangering yourself to really endangering yourself. I see. I got you. That sounds fun. Yep.
She has to go rock climb when I tell her don't bring her ass in the gym.
That's right. Yeah, I'm 60 feet up in the air. Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna find something different that's dangerous. Yeah. Love hiking, love rock climbing and camping and stuff like that. Outdoors type of person. Yeah. Oh, love it. Love to run. Okay. You're not getting ready for a fight, and
I got to put us as far mentally away from it as possible. What is your guilty pleasure to eat out of food?
I could smash a box of Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its, dog.
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its, Goldfish. You ever heard of Better Cheddars? You better look for them.
Better Cheddars?
Hell yeah.
I've never heard of Better Cheddar. What is Better Cheddar?
It's a top shelf item. That's why you never see it.
That's probably why I never
It's
done
this little like wafer thin. I don't even know how to describe it. It melts in your mouth. You gotta look for
and
Better
it's called
Cheddar.
Better Cheddar.
Better Cheddar. Whales. You ever had whales?
Yeah, I heard of whales.
Yeah,
I heard of whales.
Love all that stuff.
Okay, so you like a snacky person.
Yeah, a little salty.
I thought you was gonna say, I want a greasy cheeseburger. Nah, she said Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its.
Yeah, I got you. You even when we say let's do bad, you're like, only a little bit.
Yeah.
I get it. So, being able to get away from the sport is always mentally something that's important for people. I always ask people, what do you do to get away? I've heard everything from, man, I play video games, or I go hang out with my significant other, or man, I don't ever leave. I've heard I'm here all the time. After the fight, I'm back. You'd be like, man, you need some time.
Right.
But, I think where you going is phenomenal. I don't think there's a lot of females that make this kind of splash with that minimal of, hey, I got 14 fights total. I got 14. I mean, that's not normal, and then, from people saying, man, Hannah she's different. What you mean she's different? Man, she hit me and I was mad at it, Like, man, is that serious? Like, man, she can punch, I hear so much about you, your reputation has preceded itself, But that's really cool. I think you're on your way, and I'm gonna be front row to watch it. Do you have anything coming up in the foreseeable future?
Man, we were really hoping to get a fight August 9th on a Louisville card to fight Rosa Torres, but again, we gave them the offer, like, hey, we want to fight. We know you're looking for a fight. And radio silence for 4 days, and then they said, hell no.
Man.
She's 5-0 too, so like.
Yeah, so that's risky for her,
Yeah.
In her mind, I'm guessing, because you're going to hear that a lot. You're going to hear that a whole lot. I think where you at is it's a shaky place. It's a place that kind of can deter you from, your confidence, because people keep doing that. But you just keep moving forward, the closer you get to something, the more clear your vision is going to become.
Yeah.
And I think eventually you can be a person in the driver's seat to where everybody put a target on you, I mean, it's going to be either or, I think people kind of forget that. The same way you're avoided, you could easily be the target,
right.
And although the target sounds fun, it's not, it's hard work to stay at the top.
A lot of pressure.
So for you to have to hard work your way to the top, that's just as cool and just as challenging. So, somebody like yourself who's a farm girl with a degree who don't stop and eat Cheez-Its, man, I think you on your way, but I enjoyed this. I appreciate you for pulling up on me. How can people follow you?
I'm pretty much just on Instagram at HRAP7, HRAPP7. I post sometimes.
I post sometimes, So we're gonna try to see if we get her post a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we can gain a little bit more interest.
That's right.
And a little bit more traction. But Hannarchy, Rapp, the NABF Featherweight champion.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.
We out.